Welcome, folks. Today we are discussing Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, a groundbreaking paper that laid the foundation for the cryptocurrency we know today. Let's dive in.
I'm eager to hear about this. What's the core problem this paper addresses? And what's the proposed solution?
The core problem is double spending in digital transactions. Traditional electronic payment systems rely on trusted third parties like banks to prevent this. The paper argues that this reliance on trust creates vulnerabilities and inefficiencies. Their solution? A peer-to-peer network using cryptographic proof to eliminate the need for a central authority.
So, how does this peer-to-peer network work in practice? It sounds complex.
It's elegantly simple, actually. The system uses a blockchain, a continuously growing chain of cryptographically linked blocks. Each block contains a set of validated transactions. To add a new block, a node, a computer participating in the network, must solve a computationally intensive proof-of-work problem. The first node to solve it gets to add its block to the chain and is rewarded with newly minted bitcoins.
I see. So the proof of work is what prevents manipulation, right? But how does it ensure that the longest chain is the correct one?
Exactly. The longest chain represents the most computational effort invested, making it the most likely to be accurate. It's a consensus mechanism. If an attacker tries to create a fraudulent chain, they'd need to outpace the combined computational power of all the honest nodes on the network, a highly improbable feat.
That's a compelling argument for security. But what about incentives? Why would anyone participate in this network and expend computational resources?
That's addressed by the reward system. The node that successfully adds a block to the chain receives newly minted bitcoins. This incentivizes participation and secures the network. Later, the paper also suggests transitioning to a system where transaction fees become the primary incentive.
Interesting. So, the paper also discusses simplified payment verification. What's that all about?
Simplified payment verification, SPV, allows users to verify transactions without running a full node. They only need to download the block headers and relevant Merkle branches. This makes Bitcoin more accessible to users with limited resources, but it also makes them slightly more vulnerable to attacks. The paper acknowledges this trade-off.
I have a question about the privacy aspect. Doesn't the public nature of the blockchain compromise user privacy?
That's a valid concern. The paper acknowledges that all transactions are publicly recorded. However, it suggests maintaining privacy by using anonymous public keys for each transaction. While the amounts and times of transactions are visible, the identities of the parties involved remain hidden, similar to how stock exchanges operate.
Got it. So, in essence, this paper proposes a revolutionary system for electronic cash, eliminating the need for trusted third parties and relying instead on a decentralized, secure, and incentivized network. It's quite remarkable considering its age.
Precisely. It's a foundational document that has profoundly impacted the world of finance and technology. The concepts introduced in this paper continue to shape the development of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology even today. Thank you for joining us, folks. We hope you found this discussion insightful. Goodbye.